Christmas to those who celebrate that holiday. And hopefully have a wonderful time. Our staff is dressed in their festive outfits. Let me try that all over again. I will try that once again. Welcome to our December 16th agenda review meeting. Sorry about that. We'll try again. Do want to wish everyone who celebrates Hanukkah a happy Hanukkah, and those who celebrate Christmas a Merry Christmas. And I do want to point out that our staff is in their festive best, so we love that today. Ms. Bowie, would you please call the roll?
Good afternoon. Pete Wildebohr.
I am present.
Melissa Mason.
Here.
Josie Barnhart.
Here.
Pat Bradford.
I am here.
Judy Justice.
Here.
Dr. Tim Merrick.
Here.
And David Perry.
Here.
All right. Well, thank you for all being here. Ready to go. This meeting should be a shorter meeting. I think there might be a little discussion on how long it's going to be, but we'll try to get through it. But it is a very important meeting, as are all our meetings. I have asked Ms. Mason to do the pledge, but before that we will have an invocation by Matt Moorhead from the Crossway Chapel.
Hi, my name is Matt Moorhead, and I'm one of the pastors of Crossway Chapel of Wilmington. And just wanted to thank you all for the way you serve our county and our area. Grateful for each one of you, and privileged to be able to pray for your meeting today. God, I do want to thank you for each person represented in this meeting, in this leadership team, for the Board of Education. I'm thankful for the role that they play in serving the students and families and individuals in our county. And God, I ask for your blessing on this time today in their meeting. I thank you for the ways in which you have guided and strengthened them during this complicated and difficult season. And I pray that you continue to grant wisdom where they lack it. Your word says that it's good to give thanks to you for all the good things you have done. And your word also says that where we lack wisdom, that we should come to the one who provides the wisdom that we just simply do not have on our own, the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. And so we ask on their behalf that you grant them wisdom where they lack it, that you grant them unity where they need it, where they need vision for the future, even if that future is just a couple of steps in front of them, that you grant them the vision to see what needs to be done and how to lead well, how to serve well. And I pray that you strengthen them for that task. But thank you for the teachers, for the administrators, and for the board as well, and just the way in which they serve and lead the education system in our county. And I ask that you go before them, and in this time that you truly superintend their time, that there be a humility and graciousness in the way that they're able to operate with one another that would help them to effectively serve our county. Thank you for your kindness. Thank you that you put people in positions of leadership and service in order to benefit our city and our county, and I pray that their leadership would do just that. Thank you for your kindness to us. I'm grateful that you are ultimately the one that we trust in, and pray that we would do that more and more each moment and each day. In Jesus' name, amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. You are on. Very good. At this point, I would entertain a motion to approve the agenda.
So moved.
We have a motion?
Second.
First and second, any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor of approving the agenda, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, like sign. Passes 7-0. I have asked Ms. Mason to keep up with the time, so we will figure out, and as Ms. Baggy has shared with me, we will not be meeting next week, we'll be meeting in January. So that's Ms. Barnum that reminded me of that, so thank you. We start out, and again, as we have for the last year, we'll just go down the order. If you need us to stop, please just go ahead and stop me and we'll go ahead and discuss whatever we need to. Call to order, roll call, invocation, presentation of colors, national anthem, pledge of allegiance. Who would like to do the pledge?
I would.
Thank you, Dr. Merrick. Dr. Merrick will be doing the pledge. Then we have the approval of the agenda, approval of minutes, recognitions 15 minutes. Does that sound about right? 7 or 8?
No.
Uh-oh. Well, let's say 10, just to be sure. 6, 7, no? You know, I think that's one of those...
Derail.
I don't even want to get into it, but that's one of those jokes that I don't even, yeah. Yeah, I don't get that, but anyway. Okay, administrative introductions. Ms. Geller, there you are. Just have one? Okay. 5 minutes? 5 minutes, very good. Teacher voice will be 10. Superintendent's report, 5 minutes, right?
Yes.
Okay, I'll take about 25 minutes from, no, kidding. 5 minutes will be plenty for me. Presentations, so under information, we have presentation of partnership that works for NHCS, getting a little nervous here. Career and technical education, about how long will that take?
About 20 minutes.
20 minutes. We will give it 20 minutes, very good.
Excited
Well,
for that. I'm just excited for that presentation.
Good.
Looking forward to it.
Very cool. Call audience will be 60 minutes. We have consensus items, and again, if you need to pull anything off, please let me know. Change order summary report. Anybody know what that is?
Me.
Yes? Okay, would you?
I just wanted, if we could go through it now, trying to make it come up, for some reason it's not popping up for me. But if we go through it now, then we don't have to do it then. I didn't quite understand a couple of them. For example, like the first one, when it says CO total, that's, we saved $57,000, is that correct? Ashley?
No, the CO total is the change order total.
Okay, change order total. So, I think the one that bothered me the most was that 50% of it was change orders, where it says total CO of total contract. I think that's the one that bothered me the most. Where is that? It was over half.
Was that for the Title IX improvements?
The
at
Probably,
Hanover?
yes, it
or
was
4?
Title IX.
So.
What was that about?
My understanding is, and I apologize, that was before I stepped into the role, but that was voted on previously because I think the Hoggard Title IX project came in under, and the Hanover one came in over. And so the initial vote that came before the board and the commissioners was to move money from the Hoggard project to the Hanover project. And then based on that, they tacked on a percentage for the change order, which bumped it up over
Yeah.
the $300,000 threshold, and then that required board approval. And so that's why that one was so large.
Okay.
And that is, if I remember correctly, the biggest part of the Hanover one is at Godwin. Is that right?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay, thought it was. Okay. Yes.
And just for clarity, because last month we had approved close to $400,000 of, we came under budget in some projects, so we were able to do new projects. So this is the documentation of that, or is this additional savings that we have found that we're able?
No, these may or may not be related. In situations where the contract had to be adjusted based on the price, that has to be approved and signed off on, and there has to be a paper trail of that. And so this is the report of those contract changes through the year.
Because some of these are from last month.
So-
as
some
well.
of them are,
Okay,
yes.
Thank you.
That was part of my question. Yeah, thank you.
Others?
So, can we not just approve that today?
Since it's on the consensus, we can just knock it out next week, or not next week.
Whenever.
Yeah, next month. Okay. Temporary construction easement agreement.
That's me as well.
Not seeing anything? Contract for NC Sound for intercoms. All right. Exemptions from formal qualification-based selection for professional services. Brooklyn Arts Center Academy revised MOU. Yes, ma'am.
I just would like some clarity of the revised. Is it just updated for, and this is not a new MOU, so is there anything specifically that's being updated or just a renewal?
Forest
Dr.
Hills Elementary would like for them to start participating at their school as well, so it's just an amendment to add Forest Hills to the existing MOU.
Because it used to be just pre-K programs,
Correct.
and now it's pre-K and Forest Hills?
That's correct.
Thank you for that
You're
clarity.
welcome.
Very cool. Good question. All right, and then 26, 27 curriculum course guide updates. Ms. Bradford, Ms. Barnhart.
I would just like for somebody to be able to speak to the citizenship proficiency diploma. I know we had kind of talked about that. Some other board members I know had been interested in having citizenship, and so if somebody could just kind of give us a brief overview of that.
I'll be happy to.
Thank you.
So it is a new offering from DPI to be able to get that endorsement on your high school diploma. It's very similar to the other endorsements that we have, like global languages or arts endorsements, things of that nature. So this one is something that we teach our students anyway in the required graduation class of civics and economic literacy. And so children will now have the opportunity in that required class to request to take the oral exam. So it will be 10 questions that would be found on a citizenship exam, and then they must pass 6 of the 10 in order to earn the endorsement on their high school diploma.
Yes, ma'am.
Would you speak to the clarity and the process that our students have to go through to take that, or do we have a district-wide process of whoever
process-
wants to do it, you know?
Yeah, the process for that is that it's offered in the economics and civic
Just in
literacy
that class.
class
Okay.
because it is required for every single child to take that class. So that way we know that we are reaching every single child. Children,
love hearing that.
Yes, children do have to request. Of course, the teacher will say, who wants to, and then the teacher does have to give that exam orally.
Okay.
It is in your update as well from a few weeks ago, and then I put a little extra in there that will go out on Thursday this week as well.
Ms. Justice and then Dr. Merrick.
You're welcome.
Is this being offered across the state and district?
Yes, across the state. It's a state, just like the other endorsements, like arts and things like that.
So the idea is that it's an oral exam that a student has to, they sign up to take, to get this endorsement, and then they have to be able to answer 6 out of 10 questions orally to the exam that's given to people that are applying for citizenship for the U.S. Is that what it is?
It's 6 of the questions, they would have to pass 6 of the questions, so they're provided 10 of the questions that would be provided to people who are trying to get citizenship, right? It's not going to be the same 10 questions every time. It's randomly selected question sets.
I'll be honest with you, I'm very disturbed that that's considered above and beyond what we should be teaching in civics.
It's not above and beyond. It's what they're
Okay.
learning anyway in their
Right.
civics, yes. Uh-huh.
Okay, so.
But the test is the piece, I think.
I know, okay, being orally able to present as opposed to written. So that is the plus, as opposed to knowing the material. It's the idea of being able to present it orally that gives them the endorsement.
Correct.
Okay, I'm trying to understand
That's
why it would
okay.
be, okay.
Yes, the test has to be administered orally, and
Okay.
that's per DPI's policy.
Dr. Merrick?
See if I understand correctly, it's an option for any student to choose to do this, to have it placed on their diploma, and that there will be no requirement for any student to take this if they do not choose to.
That is accurate.
Thank you. So there'll be no way of profiling students who take this test or anything like that.
That's accurate.
you.
Students have to request to take it. They will know that the option is there, and then they let their teacher know if they want to take it. And if so, the teacher will administer, and then if they give the 6 out of 10, they will qualify for the endorsement on their diploma.
Love it. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay.
Can I make a
Yes, sir.
statement? Also want to make sure the public is aware, and obviously the board is aware, that citizenship is part of the entire school curriculum. It's not just contained in that one class. It's part of our counseling curriculum for K-5. It's also sprinkled into all of the social studies curriculum throughout the years.
Okay. Carrying on, policy consensus. We only have 4 policies. We've already discussed them several times, so.
Sorry, is consensus going to be 15 minutes, do we think?
Oh, I'm sorry, thank you for keeping me straight. I appreciate that.
Okay.
We had 15 minutes. I think 15 would be fine. I think that'd be good.
10?
It's-
Yeah,
might-
not that many.
Yeah, we could do 10. Let's do 10.
Okay.
Ms. Bradford?
Speaking to policy, I want everybody to reconsider their opinions between now and then, whenever we have that meeting. Seems like weeks away. 2335, advanced delivery of meetings, because yesterday, the January agenda wasn't available. It was available this morning. So this whole push to make things available earlier, we really need to consider not becoming a burden on our staff. They're doing the best that they can now. And if we back that up, if we had said, you know, it was 24 hours or 48 hours, then we would have violated policy today. So just think about that. And the other thing I'd like to put out publicly, Dr. Barnes, is this might take some of your concerns. In the publishing world, if I work on this document and I make changes to it, I resave it as version 2, V2. If Josie does it and she adds more or changes it, it becomes V3. I do it again, it's V4. So we all can look at a document and know, I looked at V1 and now we're at V4, so it's changed, I better read it. And I think that will help some of our concerns about when things get posted for us to look at in Assembly. And it's not that big of a deal to save, resave, and just put a little V and the number version it is. If it has none, then the next one is V2. So I'd like to consider that the staff do that. And I think we'll find the organizational part will go a little bit smoother.
Thank you. Mr. Perry?
Yeah, I understand your concern. When we were discussing this in policy committee, I think we certainly don't want to add more work to the staff's load. What we were attempting to do, I believe, me and Ms. Justice, was just to make sure that when things are updated for us, that they're also updated for the public. And so if it's within just yesterday, then we the public can know.
Okay. With that in mind, why don't we say 12, sorry. Sir? Oh, okay. Oh, sorry.
It's quite all right. I actually love your idea about the V1, V2. I've used that for years, and it really does do a lot. And that way, I think the only thing I'd add to that is when we do vote on something, we make sure we vote on which version, and we name the version when we vote on it.
That would
right?
certainly help. We've had a couple of
Yeah.
steps on that this year.
And I think, I just want to sort of restate that open meetings law does require us to make drafts available. And so if we say draft form or V1, draft, whatever, it does make it, I mean, I think we have to trust the public. That if we say this is draft, it might change. That they're just going to have to go along with that.
And at that point, it would just be the title and draft.
Yeah.
So everyone would know it was a draft. It would be stuck in the
Exactly. And I
Word
think,
document title.
yeah, and I think that's important that we do make that available to the public for open meetings law.
Why don't we say, just in case, we'll say 12 minutes. We'll say 12 minutes. That way we have it covered in case we do need a little time to discuss that further. We have nothing under old business.
Oh, I'm sorry, Mr. Chair, I had a question with policy as well.
Okay, back to, I'm sorry. Boy,
So,
I gotta get-
mine involves the board committees. I had asked for a discussion. It's been 3 years that we created, it's under policy, the 2660, the liaison to outside board committees. We created our board to have a liaison to the Soil and Water Committee for the county. Since that time of inception, we, as a school district, has created the Sustainability Committee, and both were meant to serve the same purpose. And so the conversation and the desire for last month to send it back to policy was in the idea of consolidating those two, because to replicate two things with the same purpose is not a good use of our time. And so I noticed that the changes on the board committee does not reflect a combination, but rather keeping them separate and still two committees that were the intention of the creation of having these were for the same purpose. So I'd like for us to reconsider that.
Well, and I will say that we did discuss that in policy, but with not having, we don't want to just all of a sudden drop off of the Soil and Water Committee without, because I know that people are appointed to that committee. we were going to say that at this point, we're going to leave it as it was. The idea, and again, we can discuss it further, maybe we should say 15 minutes, but we're going to discuss it further, but I think we need to find out from the Soil and Water Conservation Committee when the term is up and whether we need to formally, take ourselves off of that committee. I think that was the discussion.
I would be happy to shed some light as one of the people who has been on the liaison committee for that.
Sure. Mhm.
So we actually just talked about this because in order to serve, not only does the chair of our committee have to appoint people, you have to go through an application process, and then the Soil and Water Committee has to approve you to serving. And so with that being said, 2 meetings ago for Soil and Water at the county level, we talked about terms in their policy. Up until recently, there has not been terms for associate supervisors, which is what the liaison would be serving as, and there has been people to roll off at different times. So depending on when you start, they said ideally a 4-year term would be that. However, my statement of having 2 committees that are supposed to be serving the same purpose does not seem the best use of our time. And so if it is, when you're asking for, are you asking for approval from the Soil and Water Committee to potentially not need the liaison position? Is that what the question is?
Well, either that or at least giving them a heads up.
Giving a
or
notice?
Formal letter saying
Okay.
that we were going to drop off of that committee so that they weren't, we definitely don't want to have it said that, that the Board of Education doesn't show up anymore, that kind of thing.
Well, and that would be my question with the Sustainability Committee, perhaps, rather than us just saying combine and end, to specifically say in sustainability, a Soil and Water Committee member will be appointed to the Sustainability Committee. That would be my alternative to that, because the whole purpose was to provide their expertise with the school district so that we can create practices and expand programs that are benefiting our students and our community. So that was the whole purpose. I'm just trying to give some history with that. But
Okay.
thank you.
Mr. Wilderville?
I'll get you, Ms. Bradford? and-
I would
Sure.
like I'd like an explanation of how you would reword this language that's in red now, because I'm not following what you're saying. I was here for the policy committee meeting, and I heard the discussion, so now it says, Sustainability Committee, second paragraph, will include the following 2 school board members, plural, and then the last sentence, additionally, 1 board member will serve on the Soil and Water Conservation Committee. So what are you saying different from this? I don't follow.
Ms. Barnhart?
I mean, if we want to keep discussing, I do not believe that this was the intent behind this, submitting this back to policy. So if it's the will of the board that we need to have a sustainability committee and a liaison to the soil and water, then it's the will of the board. But the liaison to soil and water was not created until about 3 years ago, with the purpose being we wanted to create sustainable practices for our school district. So we wanted that expertise, and we wanted to be able to have collaboration. So I do not believe that they need to be intertwined of saying you need to have a liaison person and that same person has to be on sustainability. I think you can combine those and say sustainability, but getting the expertise from soil and water would be, soil and water will be given the opportunity to appoint a board member. So I would not agree with this language. Again, if it's the will of the board, it's the will of the board, but.
Okay. Mr. Perry?
Yeah, I believe that our discussions in policy committee over this is that we want to be able to continue to send people to that meeting, or at least one person, so that we can garner any new information that's coming out and so that we're up to date on everything. And I think we were what we were trying to do is, I think there are 2 people on there now, and we could reduce it to just 1, and perhaps that 1 could be interchangeable between the two members on our committee. You know, the idea was that we would have to check with them, make sure
And based off of what my colleague to the far left has said, she and I both served on Soil and Water, and and I am pretty sure I said this at policy too, there is some repetition, I think, in what is being shared. And what I think that my colleague is asking or suggesting is that we ask an expert from the soil and water that's currently already serving on soil and water, that's already part of that, to come and join us for sustainability. Now, we do currently have individuals that are part of sustainability that have been part of soil and water. We do have that already. So having both committees is like doing double duty.
Yes.
So that's what I believe my colleague was trying to say is we already have those experts on soil and water. We don't need to have it twice over.
Okay. And again, we'll move that up to 15 minutes, so we have a little more time to discuss.
I still have one more question, please, because I'm still lost. So is, what's in red there, where it says additionally one board member will serve on the soil and water, is the intent of that is additionally one of these that are on sustainability, one of these board members will serve on soil and water? Is that the intent? Okay, so then I would, at that point, move to add one of these, because it's been hard for me to follow this one, because I don't know that much about it.
Okay.
So, yeah, and I'm good then, thank you.
Dr. Merritt.
I've heard, and if I understand correctly, I'm very much in favor of what my colleague on the very far left has said. The idea of sending someone to soil and water is to be able to keep up with those things that are pertinent to our schools. But if someone from soil and water comes to our sustainability committee, that's how we keep up with what is, appropriate. So
Yes, sir.
I very much agree with that. And I have one more, if we're done with discussing that issue, I have one other of the four I'd like to bring up.
Yes, sir.
With your permission, sir. On the retirement thing, I would love to be able to ask our superintendent or perhaps one of the executive staff to explain a little bit more. I did ask for an explanation. I got a little bit of one. I'm not sure that I still get it. And if I don't get it, my guess is a whole lot of the public doesn't get it. And the last thing I want is for us to be reducing the rights of teachers, or to have the perception in the public that we're reducing the benefits of a teacher. So
All right, so I'll give a whack at it,
Well-
and you guys jump on in, or do you want me to wait till next week? to
I
talk
would
about it?
rather it be in the January meeting, because
Sure.
not too many people actually watch this meeting.
But one, just to rest assured, one, all we're doing is making sure we're being clear with what general statute requires.
Yeah.
It's not something additional you guys are putting on. And two, part of the reason to highlight it in our policy manual is so that Ms. Sutton and Ms. Geller can actually write to and communicate directly with the 8 people to talk them through the process so they're not surprised by it. So I can certainly talk about it in a couple of weeks.
Thank you.
Sure.
I think it's important for
But
public
it is
perception.
a fairly rare event, and I want to make sure that normally this is not an issue for anybody.
Thank you.
Yep.
Bradford?
One more. I misspoke yesterday when I told Dr. Merrick that this was not on our agenda. It is. Policy 2127 says, board members should not utilize school system or individual school names, logos, or trademarks on personal social media in such a manner that could be constructed as a political endorsement. So those of us who were yesterday watching Santa with the bikes, the way I read that, I can't put that picture out there on social media and say, look at my awesome school district. That bothers me. So I want you guys to look at this before we meet again, because the way I read this, it's not good for the school district. It's not good for us, because I took a picture, a generic picture. All the kids were facing forward, so I didn't have to worry about that. But I had Santa, and I had Jared was up there, and but I saw New Hanover School. I saw their logo. So that picture was a classic example of what I think this says we couldn't do, and that would be sad. So I just want y'all to think about it between now and whenever we meet again.
Barnhart?
Mr. Chair, as the policy chair, if you could elaborate, because sometimes we get recommendations, considerations, and requirements. So is this a requirement added to policy, or is this something for us to consider? Because, is it a requirement by law change for this to be added in there? And if so, I'd like to hear that.
And I believe this came from NCSBA, but I'm going to look over to our attorneys to make sure. Is this? Okay.
Is it a suggestion or this is law, we have to do it?
That's what I'm asking.
No, it's not.
It's not law,
not
it's not a
mandated,
law
no.
require, okay, that changed.
Yeah, it should.
Okay.
Ms. Justice? Hand up first.
I think it has to do with things like campaigning.
At our policy meeting the other day, that was the issue, the concern that was discussed, that we didn't want the idea behind, and I think you were the one who actually had the idea. The idea behind that policy was that we wanted to make it clear in the policy that board members shouldn't use school logos or things like that to imply an endorsement of their candidacy or their positions or things like that by the school system, if that makes sense. And we were looking for some way to articulate that in the policy, because the other, I think, the chair had mentioned the way that it was written before.
You agree?
Yeah, actually, Mr. Perry had mentioned that. The way it was written before suggested the concern that you just mentioned, that, hey, if I go to a school for, some great event like that, I can't put that on my social media and say, look at this wonderful stuff that happened today at Alderman Elementary or whatever. So we were trying to come up with language to make it clear we're just trying to stop people, from getting the impression that the school system's endorsing a candidate.
But would you then not have to define what an endorsement was in the policy?
Yeah, that's why I said it was this law.
Yeah, I see the blue that you added, which is nice that they're two colors, really nice. But it just, to me, it opens up a can of worms that I don't really want to pop the top on that can of worms personally.
Ms. Justice?
I don't hear, okay, there's a lot of social media. You got your campaign social media, and then you got your personal social media. I don't see any problem with putting on your personal social media, because that's what you do as a person. I thought we were talking about campaign social media. That's the difference. So, I don't see any reason why we can't put it on our personal social media, which is separate.
But some of us took a law
We've
conference.
got two other people, their hands up. Yes, go ahead.
Yeah, I was the one who originally, I saw, well, obviously, I don't think we should be using logos or trademarks. It's one thing, but originally on here, without the blue language, we literally couldn't name a school or NHCS in a post, and I thought that was
It's ridiculous.
not really acceptable. And then I believe, originally I was going to just take that off and just leave the trademarks and logos, and then with some discussion, I believe Ms. Justice came up with the blue language, which our attorney liked as well, which really just means that, just nobody, I put this on my post all the time, I put the little disclaimer at the bottom, these are my opinions and not the viewpoints of the Hanover County Board of Education. Just make it clear that nobody, it's not an official endorsement. I think we should be allowed to, obviously take pictures like you're talking about at events and things like that. I see no problem with that.
Yeah.
We just don't want to give the impression that somehow the school district wasn't you or any of you or me. I think it's fair language if anybody can, between now and in January, if you think you can tweak it a little bit better, I'm definitely all open to any amendments you might have, Mr. Bradford.
Dr. Merrick?
I'm hearing what everyone's saying, and there's something appropriate about what everyone's saying. First of all, the fact that it's a guideline and it says should, that makes it vague. But the blue language, I understand the intent of it, but how in the world do we decide if it's being used in that manner? It's very vague. And I would like to just put a little bit more clarity in it if possible. So that, if I go back, why did you put that on your social media? That seemed like an endorsement. They're like, that's not an endorsement. That gets really hard to determine. So maybe we just suss it out a little bit more. And I recommend maybe we go back to policy with that. Is that?
We can discuss it, and like I say, we can definitely bring it back to policy, in a couple of weeks. But why don't we've given ourselves 15 minutes?
I thought we were at 15.
Yeah.
Make it 20.
Yeah,
We might want to go to 20.
And I would point
Yes.
out that, let's see, for those of us who went to Greensboro, we took a legal class from Tharrington Smith on use of social media. It was a little scary. And so this conflicts with that for me to the point where I don't want this in here. because I really don't want to lay the groundwork for trouble. We have enough trouble as it is. We have enough people in the community pointing their fingers and saying, you violated policy. You know, so to me, I would say just skip it and, you know, not deal with it at all. And then if it becomes a problem, then we might have to deal with it. But the way it's written now, I mean, Norwood couldn't defend, or, you know, an attorney, not them, they're our board attorneys, but an attorney couldn't defend your use of it. Like I said yesterday, I mean, it just really hit me. There's Santa, there's Jared, there's the NHCS logo.
Yeah.
And I have that picture. So I couldn't use it, I mean, based on what this says, in my opinion, but it's just my opinion. So I just, anyway, that's how I'm going to talk about it when we meet next.
Well, let's say 20 minutes. Let's say 20 minutes for that one.
Mr. Chair, will you just be prepared to look at the NCSB notes to see if this is legally required or suggested required? Because that would change a lot of my opinions on this personally.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
And I'm pretty sure, as our attorneys have shared, it's not required, so.
So it's, okay, it's not required.
Not
Okay.
required.
Thank you.
Okay, so we'll carry that on with 20 minutes there. We have, again, no old business. We have new business, which is the Exceptional Children's Programs. Ms. Varnum and I chatted a little bit about that, so she's going to be more than prepared. Actually, is more than prepared now to do it, but we'd rather do it so everybody can, because that's the ideas, so we can have it well-defined for everybody. Possible closed session that day, we don't know. Oh, how long will you, how long will you like?
You need a lot of time. You do.
I'm taking suggestions.
Do I hear 45? Do I hear
No.
0?
Do I hear 20?
I hear 20.
20?
Okay.
Yeah, 'cause I looked at the material, and if you're going to go through all of those, and I think you
Yes.
should, yeah, 20.
And
We'll
also,
have questions.
based on the conversation Mr. Wildebohr and I had, and Ms. Bradford, you and I have talked about this as well, going through some of the basic terminology so that folks understand that our Exceptional Children Program, the grade levels, the ages it includes, the eligibility areas, but framing that and then getting into the fiscal responsibilities.
I'd say at least 20, maybe even 25, because, you know, with questions and answers and stuff. So maybe 25.
Yeah. Sold.
Okay. I'm trying to keep you on your toes. They call them erasers. They work for them.
So that's-
All right, so then possible closed session. We will need, you know, probably a 5-minute break after the call to audience. So where are we at, Ms. Mason?
Well, you just changed for me, I'm not calculating.
How long for closed session?
2.5 hours.
2.5 hours for closed session.
Bring a sleeping
We
bag.
gotta talk
Yeah.
about someone calling me just like Santa a minute ago.
Drenched.
We have to spend some time talking about the issuance of Christmas clothing ordinance.
Let's do it without closed, and then if we have.
So 195.
195.
With a break and without closed
Okay.
session.
195.
That's what I got.
Great.
Cookies for everyone.
Cookies for, yeah. That'll be 2026 too, wow. Woohoo.
I mean, if
All
you
right.
can beat my record.
Maybe,
Starting off
maybe.
well.
All right, so then we will carry on with today's meeting. The next thing that I have on our, we have nothing under information, nothing under old business, nothing under new business. So we go to you guys are really nice to me. I just want to tell you, appreciate just giving me a kind of an easy.
Thanks
give me
a
an easy
lot,
one.
guys.
He was the one who set the agenda. This is skewed data.
Easy peasy. All right, I will entertain a motion to go to closed session to prevent the disclosure of information, and I know you missed this, I know before, but I will go back to my reading. To prevent the disclosure of information that is privileged or confidential pursuant to General Statute 115C 402 and not considered a public record within the meaning of Chapter 132 of the General Statutes, to prevent the disclosure of student records rendered confidential under the Family Education Rights, to consult with attorney in order to preserve the attorney-client privilege between the attorney and the board, and to consider qualifications, competence, performance, character, fitness, conditions of appointment, or conditions of initial employment of an individual employed or considered for employment within the school system, or to hear or investigate a complaint, charge, or grievance by or against any individual
So moved.
employee.
Second.
First and second. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed? We are enclosed. Please remember to bring your calendar. Give you a 5-minute break. All right, welcome back. We are back in session. Okay, first and second, we do have 4, right? Yeah, we do have 4. All right, any discussion? All in favor of approving the personnel report, please signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed? That passes 6-0. Did you say aye? Okay, 7, sorry. Do we have any committee reports?
No.
No committee reports?
Yeah, he got mad.
Okay.
Okay, no committee, no, sir,
Okay,
no
no
committee
committee
reports.
I'm sorry, then I was wrong. I was right, 6-0.
You were right.
You were
Oh, you're right.
6-0.
Yeah, and Barnes has a bet, so move it along.
3 words you always wanted to hear.
No, I,
You were right.
That's right.
I want you to win.
All right, I would entertain a motion to
So
adjourn.
moved.
Second.
First and second, any discussion?
Woohoo!
All in favor of adjourning, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? No. It passes 5-1. We are adjourned. Thank you.